Hey guys, today we're going to learn how to break out of an if statement in Java. Now I know what you're thinking. You can't break out of an if statement. You break out of a loop or a case statement, not an if statement. That's not something you can really do. And you're correct in you would be correct. You can't actually. The short answer is you really can't break out of an if statement. It's actually it's not how the statement works. A break will break you out of a loop or a case statement. So there is a way to kind of achieve the same goal, even though there's no point to it at all. I wanted to see if I could actually answer this question, even though with more of an answer than just saying, "Hey, don't do that. You can't do it." I didn't want like a one-word answer or something. I wanted to, get as close as I could to coming up with an actual solution to this, even if it may be completely useless. This is just an exercise in futility. So just do understand that while I show you how I achieve this. So it is kind of possible to break out of an if statement. We have to sort of, there are a few tricks we had to do. And we're basically just achieving the same result as if you could break out of an if statement, even though you can't. So I'll work you through how to do this. Remember, just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And I have some more details on it on this little write up here. So yeah, my whole goal with this was just to answer that question, and not that you should ever try to actually really do this. If for some reason you were actually writing a piece of code where you thought you needed to do this, it's not what you really need to do. Trust me, don't do it. So, anyways, yep, gotta love how this puts tabs in here by default, which, you know what, I'm just gonna paste this whole thing in, it doesn't matter. All right, so this is my code snippet, and I'm just gonna explain what happens in this code snippet. All right, so there we go. This is our this is our sample showing how to do this. Let's neaten this up a little bit. There we go. All right, and bring this guy in a little bit right here. Yeah, even though it doesn't matter, but all right. So the whole idea is we have an if statement, and that's this one right here. Now, if x equals 5, which we set it to 5 right before running it, so it's going to run this if statement. This is going to be true no matter what. I wanted to have some actual conditional in there just to kind of make it a real if statement, if that means anything. Anyways, so we print out, we print some output here, and then we run our break, and then some more output here. Now we have another pointless if statement here, and the whole reason we had to add this is because the compiler was actually catching us and telling us we're not supposed to do this. It was telling us, hey, you have a break statement. This break statement will make it so the rest of the if statement will never execute. So that's kind of a logical error, and we know it. There's no point to the rest of this code. Write some valid code before we let you compile it is basically what it was telling us. So to get around that, I added an extra if statement right here, and which is always true, kind of like this one that we're trying to break out of in the first place. And then that allows us to run the break without getting a compiler error. So now running a break without it being inside a loop or case statement will not work at all. So that also won't compile. So what we did to get around this was we created we wrapped it inside a while loop. Now this while loop is specially designed to only run one time, so it's not a real loop. It won't be looping more than once, so there's no point in breaking out of the while loop. All this really does is just do a single loop, just for the sake of putting our break statement within a loop, so that it will be valid for this break statement to even exist in the first place. And then the effect of breaking out of this break statement will break you out of the middle of what's inside this if statement. So it will run the first part of what's inside the if statement, but not run the second part. It will break before it completes running everything that's inside this if statement, effectively breaking out of this if statement. And the while loop only makes it so that that will be a valid code, and allows you to run the break. So when you break, you're actually breaking out of the while loop and jumping to the end of the while loop, which in effect lets you skip the rest of the if statement, if that makes any sense at all. That's the closest I could get to coming to actually breaking out of an if statement. Again, if it seems pointless, it's because it is. You should never try to do this in real life for any purpose at all, ever. I almost kind of feel embarrassed making this video, but someone might find this amusing. Someone might misunderstand this and think that, hopefully no one watches this and says, hey, what's this guy thinking? This is a terrible idea. Who comes up with these things? So just to be clear, this is not a good idea, and you should never actually do this. So anyways, let's write this out. We're only doing this just because we can, I guess. So let's compile our demo program, and let's run it. And there we go. So it printed out a 1, and it didn't print out a 2. So we successfully broke out of our if statement right there. So there we go, success, if you want to call it success. Now, most of you're going to want to hit the thumbs up icon, or in this case, feel free to give us a thumbs down if you think this was a terrible idea. I wouldn't blame you for that. Leave any comments, questions, criticisms, anything you want to say. Leave a comment down below. We want to know what you think. You're probably going to want to subscribe. Most of the videos we do are not like this, and we usually have actually insightful, coding guides and guides in setting up servers, Linux guides. We do like Raspberry Pi, electronics, robots, 3D printing, all sorts of interesting tech stuff. So we generally have a lot of great tech content, and usually it's every now and then we'll come up with something crazy like this, but usually it's something more interesting and more usable than this. So hopefully you at least enjoyed watching this, and if you were someone who was trying to break out of an if statement, you don't have to watch this whole video to find out that you shouldn't be trying to use a break statement to break out of an if statement. And hopefully this helps you understand what you would use a break statement for, which is just to break out of a loop based on some logic. So that's pretty much it. You might want to subscribe. You might want to hit the little bell icon to get an update when we come out with a new video. And that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for watching, guys.